Hey, welcome back to the shop here at Hemmings and part 2 of our 72 Corvette build. Now, last time you saw Junior and I go over the car, kind of see what we had, see what we needed, what was wrong with the car, and I made mention of having to make a parts list. Well, I did that, and Corvette Central and Zip Corvette has responded. We're not used to having so many pretty new parts all at once, so we laid everything out, we're reveling in it, give you a little sample of what we have. All this stuff's got to migrate onto the car in the next couple weeks. Today we're going to start with the rear suspension. We think that's probably the heaviest work we have to do on the Corvette, so we're going to start there. First things first, we got to get it all torn apart, so that's going to start right now.
Well, it's a good thing we're doing some work on this because apparently there was wheel locks on this and somebody chewed away at it like a beaver and broke the stud that I'm assuming the wheel lock was on. We've got some matching touch-up paint. We're going to redo these anyways and make them look pretty, but thankfully all this damage is going to hide under the center cap.
Okay, we got the car in the air, we got the wheels off, so we're going to dive into the rear suspension. But before we do, we're going to remove the spare tire and its holder, and we're also going to take the exhaust system off. Now, neither of those are things you have to do normally to work on the rear suspension, but we're also going to need to get the gas tank out to work on that, so spare tire's got to come off. And we have a brand new exhaust system, so we're just going to remove that and get it out of the way. You'll be able to see what we're doing better that way. So those are the first steps that we're going to take care of before we actually get to the rear suspension, so we're going to get into that right now. The big news on this car is that you could be its next owner. Corvette's going to be part of a giveaway going on all summer. You can read about all the details on hemmings.com/Corvette giveaway. The Coker Tire website will also have all the details on the giveaway. There's no purchase required to enter, but you do have to get your entries in by September 1st.
I'm just putting a strap up here to the spindle. If you notice, as I tighten that up, it's just putting a little tension on the half shaft, so when I undo it, it doesn't just fall out. And then I can release that at my will and not just have it flop away. Good thing we're replacing these. That one's stiff and that one is dry. That's crunchy. Good thing we have all four. Gonna need it.
Yeah. So while the half shafts are out, we're going to put new U-joints in. That's pretty standard. Although these seem like some of them haven't been touched maybe ever.
Yeah, I think the inners are original and the outers are definitely done. This one's seized, the other one was loose. So we're in there, it's all apart.
Well, the good news is Junior's been dreaming of having an arbor press, and he just found one locally last night. And the previous owner actually had a Corvette. And
72 Corvette.
A 72 Corvette.
Yep.
And he tossed in some bits that Junior was able to turn into tools, and that's going to make this a lot easier. No hammering.
No more hammering.
Just press them right out, and well, hopefully I didn't just jinx the whole thing right there. So.
Let's find out. As Terry mentioned, I just picked this arbor press up locally. Very happy to have it. If you don't know what an arbor press is, it is a rack and pinion system that allows you to apply mechanical advantage. The beauty of an arbor press is it allows you precise control over what you're pressing, as opposed to using a hammer and risking damage to your parts.
Friend who inspected this car referred to it as an old man Corvette. And part of what he meant was that things are only replaced when they need to be replaced. And there's a lot of that on this car where, oh, we fixed this side, but the other side's fine. We're gonna wind up replacing just about everything in the rear suspension on this Corvette. So the first order of business is to tear all the old stuff out.
We'll start by removing the leaf spring links, and then we'll remove the leaf spring, upper shock mounts, get the shocks out of the way, lower shock mounts off. We could take the relay rod off. And now the trailing arm can come off. Big shout out to Corvette Central. They've supplied us with a complete assembly, so all we have to do is remove and replace.
Okay, so we've got our old trailing arm here, and this is one of our new replacement assemblies. Now with these trailing arms, there's 3 elements of wear parts involved in each one of these. So one, of course, is this bushing that we already showed you, which is wiped out up front. The other is the bearings for the hub, and then the parking brake assembly. Now you can rebuild your existing trailing arms. That's what people have done for years. The thing is, there's some procedures here that will take a little doing. The wheel bearings are tapered rollers, but there's an inner and an outer. And the trick there is that you have to establish the right preload, and doing that takes putting in the right shims in between the bearings. You can buy a shim kit, you can buy the bearings. You can even buy the special tool that helps you set it up on the bench. It's a lot easier than doing it on the car. Corvette Central has all that stuff. The other thing on here that's a little tricky is these bushings. Although it looks like it might be one pressed through bushing, it's actually 2 halves put together, and then they're crimped together to stay together. These bushings don't just go up and down, they have to flex side to side as the arms kind of travel through their arc, and that's where some trouble happens with some cars, because if they're not crimped together properly, they'll just push right out. Now again, you can do that, and Corvette Central sells all the parts to do it, and they sell a rebuild kit for the parking brake assemblies. But they also sell these complete assemblies. This is how they come out of the box. Bearings are brand new, and they're set and torqued and ready to go. Bushings are pressed in and crimped, ready to go, and as a bonus, all brand new parking brake hardware. We're gonna go put these up on the car, and I think that's gonna jump us ahead from where we would be if we had to rebuild all of this stuff.
Not exactly light, is it? Hey, look at that. All right. Oh, that broke just in time. All right, that is all in. Oh, big difference. I can barely move that. Much, much better. All right, our trailing arm is installed, our shims are installed. Now I need to hook up our strut rod here, but because our trailing arm is so drooped down, I need to jack it up to try and get our strut rod in. The bushings on these are serrated, So they're designed to clamp in. What you don't want to do is clamp your strut rod with suspension all the way through. So once we get the car completely assembled and down on its wheels, then we will tighten these so the bushings inside don't get damaged. Don't tighten them up when it's at full droop or full compression, because that's going to preload the bushing and wear it out prematurely. So for the time being, we're just going to install these loosely. And like I said, once the car is down on the ground, we'll tighten them all up.
This car is going to be part of a giveaway that's going to go on all summer. You can get all the details at hemmings.com/Corvette giveaway. There's no purchase required, but you do have to get your entries in by September 1st.
So when you're putting the rotor on, if you can see, you have these two holes. This is for your parking brake adjustment. You want to make sure it lines up with the hole that's on your rotor. If you don't do that, you're going to hit yourself when it comes time to adjust your parking brake.
These are the brake calipers we took off the rear of the car. We mentioned earlier they looked like they were brand new. The previous owner had probably just put them on, so we're going to reuse them. But one thing I do want to change is these hard lines that are attached to the caliper. We got a pre-bent brake line set and it comes with new ones. They're just a lot cleaner. These are they don't look right, and they're also a little kinked in some places. So I'm just going to take the old ones off here on the bench. And then when we get on the car and we get the calipers mounted, we'll put the pre-bent brake lines on. They'll need little tweaks to fit, so we'll do it when it's on the car. One of the few things where we are making an upgrade away from stock is with the rear spring. Now, C3 Corvettes come with a transverse leaf spring in the back. It's a multi-leaf metal spring, pretty typical. This is a composite spring, which we got from Corvette Central. Composite springs have been available for C3s for quite some time. I think the technology comes from the C4 Corvette. I believe it was developed by TRW. This one is the middle range spring rating of 3 that Corvette Central offers. We were going to go with the lightest because this car is made to be doing a road tour duty. But it was pointed out to us that during the Great Race, these cars are usually loaded up with people and luggage and tools. So we went one step above the lightest to give the car a little more load carrying capacity. This bolts in right here. This comes with this aluminum mounting sandwich plate already installed. It also comes with this heat shield, which you sandwich between the original mounting plate. And that's just to protect the composite material from exhaust heat. It bolts in just like the stock piece. We're going to put it up in there and it shouldn't take any time at all. Junior's buttoning up the last details on the rear suspension, so we've gotten over that hurdle. Next time we're going to dive into the front suspension. That's more typical Chevy stuff, and you'll see us get into that in the next episode. nicely it's coming off.
Yeah. Wait till the end when it's all jammed full of
Yeah. By then I'll be able to put the impact on it. Look, I'm doing it with my fingers. It's crazy.